It's my G Gaming. Spider-Man drops into a Raimi versus Marvel Spider-Man debate. Welcome to this Riffview for Marvel and Insomniac's Spider-Man, which is different than Spider-Man, who is indeed a Spider-Man. Let me get the door! Talk about a game that reminded people of how great Spider-Man can be. I don't recall the level of excitement surrounding the webhead being this high since, Jesus, early 2000s, early aughts Raimi movies? And well-deserved it is, because no other game has made Spider-Man feel more Spider-Man-ish in movement, actions, Peter Parker personification, primarily, or atmosphere inside of the omnisciently New York state of mind kind of New York City that Spider-Man has to protect at all times. In my mind, it is that movement, the animations, and the graphics that help this game just rise so far above everything else that the developer or the license has put out in quite some time. Sunset Overdrive Defenders be damned. Ah, my old nemesis, parking garage. What have you done with all the cars?
Ah, Spider-Man. I guess you could say I've parked them?
Spidey is just constantly moving and contorting and acrobating his way through situations that would pin down other superheroes, and it shows with every single web swing, the momentum and the speed at which he can move. So we've never really had the sort of agility at our fingertips that he gives us, which immediately cuts ties with any Arkham City ripoff nonsense that I've heard across the interwebs. Uh-oh, hardcore death metal fans, run! You'll never feel like using fast travel because of the momentum and the speed and the constant interactivity that the city demands from you to keep that momentum going. It is all so engaging, and it feels completely inside of Spider-Man alone in an untransferable way. The last Spider Fighter. And this swings into combat, which for the most part is well-oiled and just full of the exact same seamless transitions of Spider-Man somersaulting, punching, kicking, being able to use his web and get enemies up off the ground, or just countering these big brutes or these electronic-using paramilitary mercenary members. All of them have their own beats and their own rhythms that you really have to adjust to, although there is an overwhelming tempo underneath of it all to where you can really hit your stride. You can do the Batman jumping from one enemy to another and countering and knocking out your focus bar, or taking out one dickhead with a gun before he knocks down the last of your health, which by the way is recharged using your focus bars. So you're constantly told to keep up that momentum, to keep up the same pace, and to do whatever you can to make sure that the enemies do not get the drop on you. And there's only one enemy type that I really do feel like have an unfair advantage as far as they break the rules that the game has set otherwise. And that's the big guys that punch. They have so much closing distance. They don't have the slow sluggishness that you'd expect. It just doesn't come off as a fair fight whenever they're involved, especially whenever there's more than one of them around. Whoa! Spider-Man performs last rites. He sent that guy straight to hell. The story is most certainly Insomniac's own take on Spider-Man lore that has come and gone, and certain enemies that have come and gone, and it ultimately is worth the drive, if you will. It's worth the trip to get to this mountaintop because of the emotional interactions that are contained within. This isn't so much a story that relies on external sources or knowing really even the comic book sources on any of this, because everything that you need to know is right here, played out with beautiful motion capture. And so even though this wasn't the Mary Jane Watson I grew up with, it didn't really matter to me because the story that she is shifted into here and makes makes sense. It actually puts her on a different path that certainly strengthens her character from the refrigerated girlfriend that she fell into. Christ, who can even count that high? Number of times. And while I think the DLC really did hamper this bad boy as far as the story goes and turn Peter into a little bit of an idiot, there's too much good soil here across the entirety of the game's systems to even damn it. All that darn much. That's why this is an 8 out of 10 for me.
Spider Sprinter, away!
Including one of my few platinum trophies in my back pocket. So, haha.
That's all for you, Spider-Man.
See you next time on the next Riffview thingamabob I do.